welcome back to the Booth Customs channel. As Brittany said, we're back, bitches.
We are.
I think that was Brittany.
We're so back.
I think it was Brittany that said that.
Sure, it's Brittany.
Brittany always said it. Anyway, we are back, and today on this episode, we are going to be talking about the get home bag.
Yeah.
Not the bug out bag.
Because bugging out is stupid, and you're probably going to die anyway.
More than likely. So, get home to where you know your territory. We talked about this one of the previous episodes.
Long time ago.
Some minutes ago.
Yeah.
Some minutes ago. Anyway, talked about, knowing your territory, knowing your home. Your home is your castle, to use the cliche. Austin, you have further to go than me. Have you estimated how long that would take you just at a normal, how long would it take to walk 31 miles?
If I'm cruising, I could knock it out in a day and a half,
right.
Just given the route that I'd have to take, which, shameless plug for ATAC. If you don't already have it downloaded, download it. It's amazing. iTac, if you have an iPhone. Because you can set waypoints, share your map, select which map you like. It has topo maps, satellite, whole 9 yards. Amazing.
Question, what if the satellites aren't working? Can you download the maps?
You can download the
Okay.
maps and keep them in your actual phone. Now, EMP happens. I hope you know how to read a map.
Yeah.
But that's when it's good to actually have like a hard map in your vehicle or in your get home bag.
Right. My map is always hard. So
Incredibly hard.
So without further ado, this is your get home bag.
This is.
Right. And let's start with the bag. What bag is this?
So this is the Vertix Ready Pack, I believe. It's not made anymore. It's discontinued. This is the 2.0, and the new one, it's a little bit fancier. It's a lot more expensive, and everything you actually have to put in it yourself, whereas this one has stuff sewn into it.
So that's before they got smart.
It's right. It's before they got smart. So this is, I actually had to find this in the third page of Bing. So it actually took some finding. But I love this pack. I can't remember the channel that I found it on, but I found a guy who made a get home bag. He lives in Arizona. And he used this pack. Amazing video. I will link it up there. So after we finish this, if you live in a dry, arid climate, go watch his video. Amazing. But anyway, little backstory too, just a little bit of credibility here. I grew up in Montana. I did a lot of backpack trips, obviously hiked all the time, hunting with my dad and with my friends. So the longest that I've ever roughed it, just moment of transparency here, is 6 days.
It's pretty good.
I mean, yeah, from where I grew up, that's amateur.
Yeah.
But
Out here is better than average.
So I have years of experience of making things work with a day pack or an actual hiking backpacking kit. So went through the Tetons a couple times, or once. Went through the mountains across from my house a few times. So I have a decent amount of experience with reading terrain, navigation. I'd say I know enough to get myself in trouble, but also enough to get myself out of it.
As long as there's that.
So that's my background. So when I packed this out, it wasn't just an educated guess. There are definitely things in here that I was like, okay, I need this thing. This is what I'm going to get.
Yeah.
So that's what's in here. Now, this is a lot smaller than the Osprey backpacks that we used on our backpack trips.
Right.
And there's no bear canister with that. Just by itself cuts down a ton of space. I hated that stupid canister. But yeah, do you want me to go ahead and get into it?
Let's go rip into it.
Okay, so starting on the sides, we have a little Life Straw water bottle because you need water. And
Clean water at that.
clean water. Yeah, don't get dysentery and die. It sucks. Don't get giardia. Sucks pretty bad too. Ask me, I've got friends who know. Thought they could drink out of a mountain stream because it was the mountains. Don't do that. But yeah, so this obviously, you know, if you're going to use a life straw, you need to filter your water first before you put it in here. So t-shirt over the mouth of it when you fill your water cup. Do not just fill straight out of a stream. You think these things will filter everything? They will for like 3 times until you clog that filter. So always make sure that you at least strain your water before you put it in this bottle.
Now, if you did clog the filter, is there any like unclogging it, or is it a process, or is it just shot?
It is a process. You can only do it so many times before it is shot.
Okay.
So ideally I'd have a backup filter and cap on here as well. I don't have that yet. Just disclosure. So that's this side here. That's that pocket. That's empty. All right. So other side, we have my main squeeze, and I can't get the cup out of there, but there is a an Nalgene cup that is wedged in there that if I needed to, I could, with some effort, get it out. So just a regular old Nalgene bottle, and inside of it, I have my second water purification kit, which is just a Sawyer bag, a mini Sawyer. All right, there we go. The way this works, dirty water, hook it up to your filter, make sure that your filter is going in the right direction. You got your little straw, and then you just roll and squeeze your water through your filter into your water bottle. So that is water purification option number 2, and the syringe is for cleaning. I'm not going to go through that. Read the instructions on the Sawyer bag. It'll tell you what you need to know. With that, I also have a stainless steel can. Oh, and this is just a single wall. This is not insulated. Because
So you could boil water in it.
Bingo.
God, so good.
You are.
So good.
You know what it
I'm not
is,
even
man.
from Montana.
But yeah, so then I have my little cup in there as well for water collection. It does have a lid that I've wedged in below it. So this is really, really
Tight.
2 hours later.
all right, so that's the side compartments. Let's get this out of the way. All right, so the very front, collapsible water bottle.
All right.
So technically I have 3 water bottles on here. Now this is where the fun begins, okay? So right here I have 2 packets of liquid IV.
Good stuff.
Really cheap, good thing to have. Used it before, it's amazing. Water decontamination tablets.
All right, and this is the iodine and the chlorine.
Yes.
All right.
And actually, I guess I have backups because this is the chlorine as well.
Perfect.
Yeah, so I have water decon
Find it on Amazon.
coming out my ass. Yes, Amazon. All of this is on, just about all of this is on Amazon. And what I was saying earlier,
Maps.
maps. Know how to read a real map. It will save your life, and that is not a difficult skill to pick up. A little survival book that I got in Hunter's Safety way back in the day.
Sewing kit.
Sewing kit. And needles that can actually fit the inner guts of paracord.
Ah, nice. Okay.
So that way you can do any repairs that you need to on your kit, your backpack, your clothes, whatever you need is in this little needle set. And then we get on to the forbidden stuff, and that would be fire.
Fire.
So depending on your situation, you probably would like to use fire, but you probably don't need to use fire. It is a calculated move. If fire is going to get you killed or get you in trouble or get you caught, depending on what is going on, don't use fire. Just be cold. It's okay to be cold. You'll probably survive. And if you won't, I've got kit in there for that too. So just some fire plugs. I've used these before. They work great.
That's the Blackbeard.
Yeah. There's lots of stuff on the market. Like you can use the guts of paracord. The innards of paracord are supposed to be flammable. They aren't great, but it'll do if that's all you got. But this will start when wet.
Which is key.
That's
because, yeah, starting a fire when wet's not fun. To the fire point, another thing that Laz actually mentioned that's good for starting fires, and it's basically free, is dryer lint. and you can pack a like a used toilet paper tube with dryer lint and carry one of those around with you.
Yeah.
It won't start when wet. If it gets wet, it's not kicking up, so you still need a backup. But if you you've got tons of dryer lint, we throw it away. Most of us every week or two, some of us every month or so, or 3. Anyway,
or whenever your dryer catches fire.
When it catches fire, because it is highly flammable. So dryer lint is not a bad option for cheap.
It is not. It'll do in a pinch.
In a pinch, yeah. I mean, if you need something like backup for the backup, dryer lint.
You go.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah.
Side quest.
So obviously, if you have fire starters, you need something to actually start a fire with. So, just typical flint and steel, or your magnesium rod. Really, that's what this actually is. And the paracord attached to it is flammable. So, another little toy here, map reading compass, one with a clear base, so you can use it with your maps. And it has all of your measurements on there for your standard, what is it, NGS something, whatever that government
national
company
survey.
is. So there's that. Once again, redundancies.
It's got a reflection mirror on it too.
It does. Or, face paint mirror.
Face paint mirror.
If things get spicy.
Super hairy. You gotta go Rambo.
Yeah. Waterproof matches. Zippo container here. And I guess this is the first thing I have that on. Duct tape. This is 3 feet of duct tape. Everything I have wrapped in here, which I don't think is a ton, but I have some things wrapped. Everything is wrapped in 3-foot segments.
Yeah, you never have enough duct tape.
Yes, and you don't want to put a whole roll of duct tape in your bag. It takes up a lot of space. But anything that will fit a duct tape wrap, go ahead and throw a wrap of duct tape on there. And 3 foot is kind of like your go-to. So, yeah. And then, cool thing about this is it has a rubber cap on the bottom, and that's your strike face.
Ah, cool. I like that.
For the matches. Which, it also has another a replacement strike face in the bottom of this as well. So you can, if this gets wet, it won't strike. The matches are fine, but the actual strike part is not. So you have 2 replacements, I think, in the bottom. I've got some map marker pens just because they are permanent. So,
I wonder if you could get some 6 or 1,000 grit sandpaper and cut up little sections too.
I've never thought of that.
Next video, we're gonna try that.
We are gonna try that because that's actually not a bad idea.
I mean,
all right. So now we're getting into some comfort items here, which I have in the front. Okay. So
comfort items in the front.
This is a surprise tool for later. Batteries for something.
Yeah.
You get lonely when you're out in the bush.
You what?
Speaking of.
All right, chapstick, which I technically have 2, but this one can be used inside of the mouth. Burt's Bees doesn't taste very good. So chapstick's a good thing to have because chapped lips suck, and when they're sunburned, it sucks worse.
Really sucks.
Speaking of sunburn, sunscreen. A little bit of sunscreen because ideally you're going to try to keep as covered up as humanly possible, because if you're walking home, there's a reason you're walking home. You probably don't want to be seen. Right. So sunscreen for any exposed bits of skin. Don't need much because at best I'd be out walking 2-3 days.
Yeah.
If I have to go slow, it'd be 3 days. That's enough, and it's 30, so it'll do. All right, more important shit. Measurement, just in case I forget how long I am.
It happens.
It happens. Oh yeah. 2 inches. That stays in, I guess.
Okay, well, I have to leave that in.
I have to. A couple little hand sharpeners.
Okay.
So, and those do get your knife really, really sharp. I think that's a 30 and a 40 degree.
Yep.
So not your fillet knife angle, but your survival knife angles. Right in the rain, because if you don't have a right in the rain, Grand Thumb said you are wrong. And then just a little skeleton Gerber. All right, so I'm going to clear some of this stuff off.
2 hours later.
Here we go. This is where the fun begins. So, once again, more water purification.
With duct tape?
With duct tape. So this has 3 rolls of 3 foot of duct tape. Because you don't need to see the logo of a Life Straw.
No.
It doesn't matter.
We're not sponsored by them.
We're not sponsored by them. We could
take it.
Life Straw, you're listening.
Yeah.
I've got
Tag them in the comments.
yeah, tag Life Straw, please. Okay, so considerations with this. This will clog very, 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 very fast. You can drink out of mud with this.
Okay.
However, you will kill it in about 2 to 3 uses. So this is
Drink a lot.
yeah, drink a lot. This is a last resort. The bottle and the decontamination tablets are definitely my go-to. This is if I am running. And I see a puddle and I'm like, hey, that puddle looks tasty.
It's like a tasty puddle.
And I need what is in that puddle. But I don't need anything extra that's in that puddle.
Right.
So, yeah, this in like semi-filtered water, you can use this for years. But this is kind of like, I see a puddle, and we move on. Next, 50 foot of paracord. Actually, this might be 25 foot. That's 25 foot. Girth.
Wait, let me see. Yeah, the weight and the girth. Yeah, that's 25.
Yeah. And not gutted. Some people say gut your paracord. I'm sorry. Okay, if you do that, that's dumb.
I'm very highly educated.
What's the reason for gutting it?
It packs down.
Okay.
It's a little flatter.
All right.
But I have used the guts of paracord more than I've actually used paracord.
Right. Well, and this is my opinion. It's going to be stronger with the guts.
Well, right.
If you need to tie something.
Right.
And like you said, like the guts are valuable. You can use it to sew. You can use it to start a fire. Lots of things.
Lots of things.
I don't think space is that much of a commodity.
No, because if I gutted that paracord, I might be able to cut it in half.
Right.
But clearly, I don't need to cut down in half by the space.
No, you're good with that. Yeah, it's up to you. My vote is don't gut it.
Yeah, don't gut your paracord. Because if you ever actually have to use your paracord, you're going to wish that you didn't gut it.
Yeah.
Ask me how I know. Climbing carabiner, just because, it's never a bad idea. I've got my paracord in there. You never know when you're going to need a carabiner. Scissors with a belt cutter. The belt cutter is whatever. There's a lot of opinions on whether or not that's actually necessary, but I do like to have it. That's my heaviest pair of scissors, though. All right, so you'll notice I have 3 patches in my backpack. Color flag, black flag, and then just a morale patch. This little field on the Vertex Ready Pack is made to be folded down and folded in so you can have MOLLE and exposed loop. And I figured if something ever were to pop off, I want to be identified.
Right.
And that is a good way to be identified. One of those 3 flags will probably get you not targeted by the good guys.
So we got high vis, low vis, keeps you warm at night.
Exactly. We'll get you into the cool boys club.
Yeah.
This right here, you'll see, I'm not going to pull it out because it was a pain in the butt to put it there in the first place. Lens cleaner cloth. They're everywhere around your house if you've got a phone. Just throw one in your bag. This little bad boy is a Gerber Strong Arm. I have not abused this knife, obviously.
Yeah,
it's
it looks
a little
great.
shiny. But I have heard from multiple people who have abused it that it is indestructible.
Well, that's what, like a 3/16 inch to a 1/4 inch thick spine there.
It is heavy. It is, it's a beast.
It is got weight to it, but it's surprisingly like light and well balanced.
It is well
I would
balanced.
say. It's made in Portland, Oregon.
It is.
Check that out.
It is American-made knife.
Little glass breaker on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. Rubberized grip.
Yeah. It is a very, very nice knife. So, just in case I need it, I can take it out. Also, I kept the belt loop on it, so I could take it out of the MOLLE and wrap it around a belt if I'm able to wear one. Okay. I hate
double hate, loathe entirely.
These tourniquets. But,
However,
it's light and it's proven to keep people alive. So this is the soft T tourniquet. I prefer the Cat 7s. Those are far more durable. Very, very proven in both medical and battle use. Soft T is good too, but as you can see, it's a lot thinner fabric. It's a lot more pliable. So it's good for a backpack. This is also high vis, which if you have to use a tourniquet, you kind of
want to be high vis.
You want to be high vis. But yeah, so I prefer the Cat 7s, but soft T works better in this backpack. It's shorter, it's thinner, is what it is.
Yeah.
And I also had one laying around the house that was just in a bag, so I figured I might as well put it to good
Utilize
use.
it. There you go.
Next pouch. All right, so now for the main pouch, the main attraction, if you will. So the Verdict's Ready Pack has a loop field on the inside of it, and I just threw like some little Velcro, like double-sided Velcro pieces around a flashlight. Just a little stream light. It's not amazing, but it does the job if I don't get to have my preferred light. And it definitely has a little bit more throw than my pen light does.
Yeah.
Zip ties, various sizes, various widths for
Various reasons.
various reasons. Correcting bad behavior, possibly, but probably more than anything else, just keeping my backpack together.
Yeah.
All right, this is where we get to some big guts here. Poncho, USGI poncho from Amazon. Very, very waterproof. It's stupid light. And it's got the hood that you can seal up so that you can use this for a Ranger Diamond if you're out in the bush trying to stay dry during a rainstorm. I've got my headlamp here, which is where those AAA batteries come from, because don't store batteries in your electronics that stay in your car.
Yeah.
They will
They
corrode.
leak. Yeah. It's bad.
Don't do that. One button's red, one button is white.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. Memorize which one it is for your lamp.
And what's the benefit of the red option?
So red is a lot harder to see at night. So it's difficult for you, but you throw your poncho over your head, or, I've got a whoopee in there, throw your whoopee over your head. Use your red light to read your map or to do whatever you need to do, And then turn your red light off, you're back in darkness, and nobody knew knew that you were there.
Right. Another good thing about the red light is it doesn't disturb your night vision as much as the white light does. Like, it takes a lot longer to readjust to seeing in the dark after you turn off a white light than it does a red light. So, important factors if you need to see where you're going.
Yep. So make sure that you're not be seen. Because the assumption with this bag is you probably don't want to be seen. Medical. So in this is kind of handcrafted, kind of cobbled from this cannibalized, if I'm being honest. This is from Dark Angel Medical. Most of my medical kit is from them. Really great company. They do good stuff.
Works with FSA and HSA.
Yeah.
If your company provides that.
Pre-approved. So I've got gloves, I've got gauze, I've got a trauma dressing in here, I've got a couple Mylar blankets, a little mini compression bandage, and then this antibiotic cream. Commonly overlooked. Most people don't put that in their get home bag or in their medical kit. It's super cheap, and it's not amazing, but it does better than nothing.
Right.
And then in here I've also got a little boo-boo kit.
Yeah.
So we'll go into this. I'll do a video about my medical stuff later. Meds. So I've got Imodium, I've got Tylenol.
As if your life straw doesn't work.
Life straw doesn't work. Eat something a little weird. Benadryl. Benadryl and Imodium. Commonly overlooked. You usually have Benadryl in your house.
At least.
But yeah, Tylenol, aspirin, and ibuprofen. And once again, 3 foot of duct tape.
Right there.
This is the space eater right here. And this is my whoopee. If you don't know what a whoopee is, you need a whoopee anyway. It is a poncho liner. That's all it is. So I'm not going to pull this all out because it is kind of a pain to put back. It is water resistant but not proof, hence the actual poncho. But this bad boy here is from Helicon Tex, and maybe this will adjust, maybe it won't, but that is how much of you that it'll cover. So it goes from head all the way down to roughly knees, even on me.
Even
Tall
on
boy.
Tall boy.
But this is a great thing to have. It'll keep you very, very warm. Sam splint, these you can cut, form to whatever you need. They're really long, once again, not something I'm used to working with.
It's good that you can have that in your backpack.
Exactly. So 3 foot of Sam splint. It's super light. I figured I might as well throw it in there. Why not? Let's see. I think that's it for.
I'm not a numerologist, but you got 3 foot of sand splint, 3 foot of duct tape.
3 inches of weight. Dry bag. This is an absolute pain in the ass to open up, so I'm not going to. It's even worse to try and reseal.
You're hearing that a lot through this video.
Yeah.
But most of the stuff you're not going to get out in an emergency anyway, so it doesn't really matter how easy it is to put it back when you're using it.
Right.
Because if you're like on the move, you might even just leave it. Honestly. Depends.
Yeah. Exactly. So inside of this dry bag is a pair of socks, a pair of underwear, and just 1 pair of socks, and a pair of thermals.
Yeah.
Polyester thermals.
Don't overlook it.
Don't overlook it. Merino wool would be better, but I don't have it. So use what you got. One day I'll upgrade my thermals in there, and it'll be merino wool. Until then, synthetic will do. All right. This thing is ridiculously heavy, and this is a emergency ration made for like the U.S. Coast Guard for boats. So this is a brick.
Yeah.
And you could use it as a weapon if you needed to. If everything else fails, you've got your food. These taste like shit. But they will keep you alive.
We're not trying to make Gordon Ramsay happy with this.
No. They're greasy, they're oily, they taste kind of like coconut, like the coconut oil that you use that's next to your bed.
Disgusting!
So, it's... that took a minute.
I was reading and it just lagged a little bit. I had to buffer, but I'm back. Okay.
It does not taste good, but I've used them for granola bars, like in place of granola bars. It's something to put in your stomach if you need it.
Yeah.
And it's not MREs. Yeah. It's a lot smaller. It's very dense. There's 9 bars in there.
I was just looking at 410 calories per serving, which is one. They're kind and they call it a cookie.
Yeah. They lie. It's not a cookie.
Lies. Oh, lies!
But that's good.
It is. It does the job. It does the job, and it does the job well enough. If you've ever watched Naked and Afraid, you see them cooking and eating bugs. That is way more calories than those people eat in a single day.
Oh, yeah.
A single bar is more than most of those people eat in a day. And they make it 21 days. I can make it 3.
Make it off that, yeah.
So, that's that.
Yeah, this whole thing weighs 1.6 pounds. So it is heavy, but worth it.
Actually a brick. And then the last thing in this bag is electronics. So I put it inside of my poncho case because this is waterproof. And I tested it, put my hand in there, left it underwater for a couple minutes, and my hand was still dry. So I was like, hey,
there you go.
Good use. Random set of chargers, more chargers. Where's the good stuff? And the piece de resistance.
Oh, yes.
Solar charger. I've used this before backpacking. It is durable, it's heavy, but it is very durable. So you've got your little loop here, use some of your paracord, hook it on your backpack, face up, it'll collect its charge, and it will recharge your phone several times. off of a single charge.
Like from zero several
From
times?
0 to 100
Nice.
several times. I haven't actually like really and truly tested it, but I know it works because I've used these before.
Can you charge your phone while you're collecting solar energy with it? Is there
As
like
long as there's some battery inside of it, yeah.
this? Okay.
Yep. And it doesn't have a whole lot of like the battery doesn't degrade on its own very fast. So
There's not a lot of leak.
not a lot of leak.
Well,
And-
must be nice.
I know, right? But that's it. that's
it.
And then, an e-tool, because sometimes you have to correct bad behavior quietly.
Or
And,
dig a hole.
Or dig a hole. Diggy
After
hole.
the bad behavior's been corrected.
Yeah. Get one with a trench spike on the back of it. That is not necessary, but it is a nice feature. Obviously, that thing has been used a few times. Once or twice. And it's a little bent because, you hit rocks. Yeah.
Trench spike.
Does the job well. It was the cheap one on Amazon. But that's it. I mean, it's a hoss of a setup. The bag only weighs about 25 pounds.
Not too bad. And all right, and so that brings me to my next thing I was thinking about as we were like getting ready to do this this video. What is your sort of training that you do to prepare yourself in case you did need to walk that far, and why is it not CrossFit?
Not CrossFit. So I've always been pretty active with hikes. I've got pretty good endurance, walking endurance. Running endurance needs some work.
And bedroom endurance.
Bedroom endurance. Well, but walking endurance
Walking
is good.
Yeah, walking's good. Walking's fun.
Walking is fun. And 25 pounds, honestly, even 35 pounds, which is like your minimum rucking weight, is nothing. It really isn't much. If you do any small amount of day hikes, any leg workout at all, a 35-pound pack is not going to feel like much.
However, if you don't,
it'll hurt. It'll hurt. So get fit or die, especially if you live 31 miles away from work.
there you go, because you got to get home.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's it.
All right. Well, we'll do movie magic, I suppose, and we can cut to what to do if you only have 4 miles to go.
Yeah.
It'll be nowhere near as extensive.
All right, so let's see, movie magic time.
So after some movie magic, here we are. All right, so just talked about Austin's setup for his 2 to 3 day hike through the wilderness back to his home. And we'll talk about my perhaps 6 to maybe 8 hours, depending on what's going on. And that's just like if things are really spicy. Like I live probably 4 miles away from work. The terrain is hilly, but it's urban terrain, so it's not that bad. Honestly, like at an easy pace, I could probably do that in a couple of hours, 2.5 hours, something like that. Like just depends on what's going on and how fast you need to do it. So my setup is a lot more minimalist than his because I don't need the setup to get home that he does. And I'll talk kind of through the video how that could change depending. And also my setup, which I use for my get home bag, is also just my everyday carry bag. This bag has appeared in a couple other videos and it goes with me wherever I go to work, whatever. So front wise, first of all, the bag is a GR1. It's like the original Go Ruck bag. I got this when I did the Go Ruck Light in Birmingham probably 10 years ago. I really like this bag. It's a pretty featureless bag by itself. It has MOLLE on the front and the sides, so you can attach things if you want to, but if you don't want to, you don't have to. So that adds to the modularity of it, which is something I like because like I said, the majority of the time, I don't need that much stuff. But if there is a time that I do need it, then I can add it to it quickly and easily. Got a American flag for representation here. In the front, I don't have a lot. I have a Work Sharp guided field sharpener. These things are great. It has a 20-degree guide on it, which, like Austin said, most of your bushcraft knives are going to be like a 30 or a 40 because it's going to have that more wedge-shaped edge bevel, because you might use it to be hacking through things as opposed to just slicing through things. However, you don't have to use the guide. If you know how to sharpen a knife, you can just go with the bevel you've got. But it's got, rough, medium, fine. It also has some broadhead wrenches on the inside of it when you remove these panels. It has a stropping leather pad and serration sharpener right there. So this thing is great. I'd recommend everybody get one just because. And I also have a pair of clamps. Ooh. Because sometimes you need to clamp things or nipples. Another thing I like about the GR1 is I like the way that this bag opens flat like this, because you can see everything you have inside of it. Now the downside to that is that whenever you put things inside of it, there's nothing really supporting it. There's some MOLLE up here to which I have my med pack attached, but down here, I'll show you, there's nothing, so things just kind of slide around. That's a little bit of a downside in my opinion, just because things get a little more jumbled than they would. However, since you can open it up flat, they designed this kind of like the medic bags that they issue in the U.S. military. Right. So you just open it up and see everything you've got. I've got a small tack bivvy right here. It's basically kind of like a Mylar blanket, but you can use this for a tarp for protection, from the elements, wrap up in it. It reflects, I think, 80% body heat or something back at you. It's got a little rape whistle on there in case you get in bad trouble. And it's orange for visibility and then silver on the inside. I'm not going to take it out because, again, it's a pain. But that's not a bad thing, and it's compact and lightweight.
It's a lot lighter weight than and a lot more compact than my poncho.
Right. It is more compact, but then again, if I need this, it's going to be for a few hours. It's not going to be for possibly overnight.
Walking through the rain.
Yeah, right, walking through the rain. This would be, fine overnight. Again, they have different colors of this. I got this one because it was high visibility, and if I'm coming back, I'm in the distance that I have to cover, I'm more likely to actually have the need to be seen at some point than say you might be going through some of the areas you're going through.
Yeah, some of the areas I walk through, I don't want to be seen.
Right. Top pouch, bottom pouch. I've got a Streamlight admin light in the top because you need a small light. And one thing I like about this, and I think we're going to do a little short video about this versus the Chicro, which you and I both have now.
Yep.
One thing I like about this is it has the S-clip, so that if I want to put it and use it like a headlamp, I can. Or it'll just clip in my pocket or whatever. That's pretty good. And my wife makes fun of me all the time whenever I'm because I'm always using this and well, let me just look and see, and I clip it on there, and I'm I'm peering around with it. But hey, it's useful, and I've used it a lot. I've got some beater Oakley cop glasses / I went to Dega Baby glasses. I always have a multi-tool because you never know when you might need a multi-tool. You could always use a multi-tool for something, like pliers for getting through places, into places, whatever. I always have a extra charger just in case. Not likely I'm going to need to charge my phone, but again, this doubles as my everyday carry with a pin or two, just because you never always need pins. And fingernail clippers, that's just my everyday stuff. Those are actually 100 years old.
Hey, those are the ones that work the best.
Right. This bag, I have Streamlight Polytac which is just a good beat around flashlight. It was not expensive. It was like $40, I think. And for what I'm going to need it for, it's going to be fine. Hopefully I wouldn't need that bright of a light, but if I did, it's good to like shine it. I mean, it acts as a weapon. You can shine it in somebody's eyes and temporarily blind them, whatever. And it's much brighter than this one. I think this one is, it's not super bright as far as like flashlights that go these days. I think it's like 600 to 800 lumens.
Enough to disorient.
But it's enough to disorient somebody. I have extra batteries because I had a headlamp, and then my headlamp, I stepped on it and broke it, so I got to get a new one. Still working on that. I have
wrapped in duct tape.
Wrapped in duct tape. I have probably like 15 feet of paracord with the guts in it, because that's probably all I need right there. And then I have an extra. This is just a case, old school sod buster knife, because you always need like a regular knife in addition to your other knife.
Right.
And the knife that's on your multi-tool.
Exactly.
I have a med kit in this. I don't have to go through all this in this particular video. Mainly what's in this, I have some skin glue for cuts and such.
Yeah.
Band-aids. I've got some Surgisil for stopping bleeds. I've got a Mylar blanket, looks similar to yours. Gloves, because there's especially like I said, an urban environment, there's a chance that you're going to run across somebody else that's not a bad actor or out to no good that is in need of help, but you don't want to get their blood on you, because it's just like the water, you don't know where it's been. Got a Israeli pressure bandage, good for multiple things. You can make a sling out of it, you can put pressure on a wound, whatever. Got an ice pack, some gauze, some small popsicle sticks. You can use those for finger splints. If you happen to break a finger, somebody else breaks a finger, like you're going to want to, splint that up in some way or another, because it's going to be painful. And then some other gauze wraps and sponges and tape and band-aids and ibuprofen and that sort of thing. Because again, this is a everyday carry type situation, as well as get me home deal. So most of the time what I'm going to be doing is I'm out somewhere with the kids and they like scrape their knee and need a Band-Aid, and that's probably what I'll be doing. However, it works for the other two. I also have, and it's mollied in here, a tourniquet like so. And I did have some scissors to go with it, but I think I used those for something else. Then I have this little bag here, and in this is a red poncho, again, high vis. I have another bag that has clean underwear, socks, even a toothbrush and toothpaste, because it's the creature comforts. Sometimes you may just need to brush your teeth while you're like running for your life on your way home. I've got, that's a charger for the flashlight. Think for a second. A compass, because you always need a compass no matter what. Compass without a map, not the most useful thing. However, it is useful if you're needing to orient yourself to which way is north, because I'm going to be headed south, and so even if I have to like cut through, like, because there are patches of woods and
if you're avoiding the road,
if you're avoiding the roads, it's going to be helpful to keep yourself oriented in the correct direction, so you can take a bearing before you start off into that, and then return yourself to that bearing when you get out of it. If you don't know how to use a compass, I recommend learning, because it's a useful life skill. I have my own magnesium fire starter here, shown there.
Nice.
And then I always carry this cup. I've had this cup for, how old am I? Probably 20 years, something like that, maybe longer, maybe like 30 years.
It's even got the speckle on it. Like, that's a legit camp cup.
Camp cup. And this one, I mean, you can boil small amounts of water in it. I mean, it wouldn't be a lot, but it'd be enough for a short period of time. And again, I'm not planning, this is not my, I'm going to be out in the woods for days and days. This is just like, I've got to get from where I work back to my house. Super minimalist setup, but the reason I'm like, want to sort of like explore this in this video is because you may not need to be packed out like Austin is, and you may not need to be as minimalist as this is. However, you can like use these concepts to like find yourself an in-between, or say, well, you know, that makes sense. There's definite things that need to be added to this, just for the regular, like it needs some sort of water purification, because there is always the chance that you might have to be like out overnight. And we're gonna do a video on vehicle setups and such coming up here in the future. And a lot of the stuff that I might need is in the vehicle. Like normally I'll have like a tomahawk or a wood axe in the vehicle. I have ammunition. I'll usually have my pistol in the vehicle and all that stuff. If I'm going to have to abandon my vehicle, I'm going to put what I need in my bag. And that's another reason not to have, for me personally, not to have too much in this bag at a time, because it leaves me space to put the things that I actually need from my vehicle in it. If I have to like leave my vehicle at work and hoof it home, or ditch my vehicle on the side of the road and hoof it home, like you hit a roadblock or something like that, take the stuff that you have in your vehicle, because your vehicle, not to sound too tactical, is kind of like your mobile command center or mobile supply wagon or whatever.
Do not ditch your vehicle unless you have to.
Unless you have to. But also have the things in your vehicle that you need in case you did have to ditch your vehicle to get back home. You know, have the stuff that you need to pull so that you can kind of apply it to whatever situation possible.
Right.
So if you need a lot of stuff, by all means, like, take care of that need. But if you don't overdo it, because it wouldn't make any sense in my situation to have everything that Austin has in his backpack as a get home bag in my backpack as a get home bag, because I just wouldn't need it. It would, again, he said, you know, it's just 25 pounds, but if I'm attempting to get back home as quickly as I can, then I don't need any extra weight slowing me down.
Right.
So
whereas if I'm walking home, I know it's going to take a while.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, Austin knows it's going to be some, you know, a few days to get back to his house at the least. And yeah, obviously there's could come situations where it would take me longer to get back, but that would be a extreme disaster situation, and in that case, you just gotta improvise and adapt to what's going on. But you can't. There's no possible way to be prepared for every single scenario that might occur, because that's infinite. So you have to like design your setup with what your most likely scenarios are in mind, and then go from there. Well, thanks for tuning in. As always, hit the like and subscribe button. Let the algorithm overlords know that the Second Amendment people and freedom-loving people still have a voice, and we'll see you next time.
Happy shooting.